How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane, and I'm here to once again give you an episode review and recap of Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. It is episode 23. Wake up and take a step. Now, for those of you who are the uninitiated, this is the final episode of this season. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but even at the end, we had a picture of Rudeus with his staff, and he's saying, straight up, thank you for watching with the little thing. The art in here is amazing. I've had the pleasure of following some of the artists on my social media on Twitter. I do like art. If you follow me on Twitter, you do know I repost a lot of art. I like art. But yes. Last week's episode, it's crazy. All of the emotional stuff from anime at the beginning of the week, last Sunday, I was still drained throughout the week. I was still like tearful and upset even on Tuesday. It got to the point where I saw Spider-Man, was it No Way Home not yesterday, Friday, and I was so there's some tear jerking parts, but some of those parts just had me like, wow, man, that's really sad. If you see, you can't when you see so much sad stuff in some of the medias you like. Sometimes you start to get a little bit numb because then you think back, hey, that other thing was a little bit more sad to me because of X, Y, Z. But I digress. Let's get into this aftermath, guys, because this is a very inspiring and really this. I want more episodes of anime to be like this, especially when it's your last of a season, at least when it's your last of a season, because they did such an amazing job. Especially, I like a show that doesn't forget its characters and reminds you of why certain characters are amazing without even having a ton of time with them. So it's nighttime and ducks are ducking, ducks are quacking, right? Eris and Ghislaine are at a fire. Eris wakes up and Ghislaine tells her, she can keep sleeping, but Eris like, no, it's fine. It's already dawn. Eris is trying to get up at the dawn, and she's ready to go. And Ghislaine is smiling at her. This is the fine young woman that she's becoming. Rudy, on the other hand, is in bed. His world is black, and we get the semblance of gurgling water, like he's feeling like he's drowning. We get a nice little new intro, like we always do. And this one, it goes with the dawn, and it's super sombering. But at the same time, there are people who are starting their lives over again. There are people who are making plots for new plants and vegetation, crops and things. There are people laying down foundations for homes and being reunited. And, people are sweating and working hard. Even Alphonse is sweating and working hard. But Rudy is just despondent. He's looking out of his tent and sees people crossing over. He sees something like he just turns to the other side. And we're back in, I said the real world, but we're back in his past life where, people, he's just standing in line with other people for, I guess, the lunch line. And three guys cut in front. I guess we never really got to see the full reasoning of what led to that big humiliation that made him have a mental breakdown and turned him into the shut in. All he did was tell these guys, hey, did anybody tell you not to cut the line? And they picked on this guy. They were fucking throwing basketball at him, and the school sign talking about happy, healthy, and friendly. Hell no. He's talking about at least try to dodge. And he still had fire in his eyes, and they're like, I really don't like you. So that's when they chained him, tied him up naked to, I think it might have been his house. It's either I think it was his home where they did this. And he's in his room, and you just have to feel for this guy. I'm sorry, anybody who talks about they don't like Rudy or they hate the main character, it is very obvious that they do not watch the show, that you do not pay attention to what's going on, that you're picking the parts that they choose to have him be perverted or, be extra with his love interest. Because I'm just going to be frank, there's a lot of people that choose to not like things just to not like it. Or as I'm coming to learn while doing, reviews and watching things and analyzing things, sometimes it feels like I'm watching something completely different than other people. I don't know if it's because I do writing on the side or because, I've seen enough of this and I've read enough things that I can identify and I can pick up on when certain characters are doing certain things, unless things are a swerve. It's, it's hard to not feel bad for Rudeus. Past life, current life. It's very hard to not feel bad for him. And that's all I can really say about that. Now, he's staying in his room. His parents, he's telling his parents to stay away. He doesn't want to see anybody. And his father, says he can't give in to all this. He's being encouraging. His mother's saying, just rest. He has amazing parents. He had very amazing parents. His mom even left food for him. And he wishes, his mom even wrote a note said all her children are strong. And he flat out, he thought, he wants to be strong, but he's just weeping. So we're back in, I guess, the current time, you can say. And Alphonse comes in. You know, there are flies and stuff all around the food that was by bedside by Rudy stuff. You can hear him buzzing. And he says, well, since she's not busy, he needs his help. And while he's saying this, he actually looked over the note that Eris had left. And it's very interesting because Rudy didn't throw out anything and burn anything. He just is just laying down. And Alphonse is telling him, you know, they need timber to build homes. They're short on manpower. They need his help making a well because, one of the hard parts, of this area is getting the water. And then he says, in regards to Eris, and he's gonna say she perished during the teleportation incident and accident. And Rudy kind of turns over and he looks at him. He looks at the hair, and what's his name? Alphonse is saying revealing that information now would kind of be a hindrance to the reconstruction effort. So announcement won't be for some time, right? And Rudy just says it's a shame that Eris ran out on you, and you can feel the underlying sarcasm and bite to that. It's Rudy's like, oh yeah, she ran out on you. I wonder what that's like behind his doors. Like, I wonder what that feels like can't you see? Like, I'm torn up here. And he says, well, and he being Alphonse says that's not really his concern about, her running out. His concern is the people of Fatoa. And Rudy says, well, you should leave me alone and get back to work. And Alphonse basically gave him time, given what happened with Lady Eris. Continues to call her Lady Eris, continues to have that respect for her. Given what happened with her, he gave him time to rest idly by until now. But they're running short on tents, and they barely have enough food to survive. And Rudy says, "Are you telling me to get out?" It seems you would think, "Oh shit, it's about to be a repeat of his past life." And no, Alphonse says, I'm telling you that you're the only person that's not suffering. And, he's about to walk, he's about to walk out. And Rudy just kind of goes back in the bed, and Alphonse just looks over him kind of sadly. That was such a key moment. And I say key because that could have turned everything around to the worst. Him saying, well, you kind of have to leave. No, he's saying, hey, there's a lot of people hurting. Just, you're hurting. A lot of people are hurting, dude. But we really can use your help. I appreciate that. I didn't see that coming. I really thought he was going to tell him to leave, but I appreciate that. And then the other heartbreaking thing, something I can definitely identify with, is Rudy's wondering what he should have done. Um, he says, "I don't know what you want from me," and I can't. And because no one's there, you can't tell if he's talking to Eris, if he's talking to the man god, if he's talking to himself, or if he's talking to Alphonse. Could be a combination of himself and Eris. But he rolls over and falls to the ground, and he's touching her hair. Meanwhile, she's out killing these dog dragon things with Ghislaine. And Ghislaine asks, "Are you sure?" And I love this juxtapose for the people of Team Dead End. So there's some guys thanking people, and I thought they were thanking Ghislaine and Eris. No, they're thanking Rudyard. They asked him his name because he killed this big boar beast. They're giving him praises. There's three of these guys, and one of them says such a crass thing. He says we would have been this thing shit, and I'm just like, okay, I get what you're doing. These are small local people who were getting attacked and he saved them. I got it. So much you can glean from how characters speak. And where am I at here? And Ruger basically tells him, I'm Ruger, and my party was dead end. Eris goes on to talk to Gillian and says Rudeus is amazing. He's smart, strong, really talented, and he still practices magic every day. He is amazingly amazing, which one of the reasons why I like Rudeus as a character. He, by all means, dude is pretty damn powerful. Even Orsted said that he would give Laplace, who is another god of this world, a run for his money. Eris continues to say, she wasn't afraid of anything because she had him with her, and then we go back to RJ. RJ tells these people that he's a super spirito. There we go, a spirito, and always forgot how to say that. Almost forgot how to say it, but he's a spirito, and they start asking questions. They're not afraid of him. Like they're saying, like, don't you have like a jewel or something on the top of your head? Like they're remembering all of the tales that people have said about it. Back to Eris, she says it never crossed her mind because she was never afraid of anything when being with him. It never crossed her mind that Rudeus might die, and she can't. She says she can't do anything at all. She relied on him for everything. We go, and at the same time, RJ showing people that red jewel on his forehead, and they are amazed. They're like, "Hey, I never thought it would look like that. This is pretty damn cool." And he says, "Tell me, are you afraid of me?" And they flat out say, "Hell no. You just saved our lives. Why would we be afraid of you when you just saved us?" And one guy says, "I'm gonna be honest. If I was a kid, I'd be afraid, but I'm a grown adult now." A very wonderful interaction that he very much needed. He very much needed that, and it has shown how far we've come from Roxy being like Superiors are dangerous to he's they have a good name coming up now. Um, Eris continues saying, Rudeus was always thinking of, her and Ruger, but, she can't really do anything for him. She says that she had been awful, and she's thinking back to when they had made love. She says Rudeus's hands were smaller than her own. What does that mean? So it means that this guy that you love, I'm gonna just spoil that. This guy that you love, you know, you have grown so close over, I think it's been 6 years for them. I think they've been together for 6 years. She's 9, 15, 10, 6 years they've been together. So, of course, he saved her. They fought together. They bled and cried together. They've held one another. They got to the ultimate step of any relationship last episode. And she's thinking like, man, this guy's done so much for me. I need to be doing something for him. So the whole his hands were smaller than mine thing, it's not like saying that he's not emasculating him. It's basically saying he's done so much with hands that are smaller than mine. I should be able to do something, right? And that's a good. She's an interesting character to be of royalty. So you get a lot of royalty characters that don't want to do anything, or they trip over themselves, or they're trying too hard to be strong and be seen. It has to be because of Rudeus. She's been so damn humble. So, um, we're going back to Ruger. The guys are talking about how people would tell kids to go to bed, or the Superdos would eat them, and RJ says, "I don't eat children," and everybody just starts laughing, and then he kind of smiles too because he was taking it seriously, but it's like, oh, these are some really good moments, and then we get Eris doing thing that made me just go, oh, she's on top of a rock, and she says, "I love Rudeus, and I swear I'm gonna see him again. I'm gonna train and be strong enough to defeat the Dragon God." Guys, I don't know why. It's really bad. She's not good at writing. Flat out, she's not good at writing. She's not good, at arithmetic and things like that. And she's really not that good at putting her feelings down on paper. It would have been so much better if she would have said this to him. But at the same time, I feel as though if she would have said this to him, he would have tried to travel with her. And I think at this point in time, they do need that separate journey kind of thing to go on to, because there's so much more he can do. He realizes that he has to realize that he's lacking, because You basically died. You died to the dragon god pretty easily at that. So there's more he can do. Um, and she says and this time I'll protect him. Oh, I love the fact that I know what's going to happen in the future, but this is a great moment. And I was getting tearful at that point too, because I'm first of all, I'm Team Harem. And if you don't know, now you know. But I'm also Team Eris. I like Eris. We spent the most time with her. I get that Sylphie is the first. Sylphie is the young love. Roxy is the first love, right? So I'm down for Eris though. I don't know, something about that character. Maybe it's because she's redhead. Probably not, but I enjoy that character a lot. Anyway, Rudy is in his last life, messing with the glass. We just see his other form messing with the glass, and again we get that gurgling. It seems like he's drowning. So there's snow in a forest area. Zenova is looking at that model of Roxy, and he's saying, "I'll see you again, teacher. Shisho, I'll see you again." We see Geese, and that's in a desert, and Geese is straight up going, "Man, if Boss was here, he would instantly make some water." And he said he just make water right away, easy peasy. Now, literally, he says, "Oh shit, Toe." He says, "Oh shit," but they got translated to "oh well." No, he's just, "Oh shit." Do need some water. In the Beast Tribe, there's the one girl who had carved the Eris and the Rudy, which now they look fantastic next to the art. They're not fantastic, but they look way better than what she started. And she's practicing swordsmanship. The one that's the busty one. I think her name's Tona, and Ghislaine's brother. I think his name's Gaze. Gaze is training Tina. It's it's looking pretty great now. Everybody who Rudy has met, they're doing pretty good. Where am I? The young, and then there's the young Oni. I'm gonna call him Oni because it looks like an Oni with the two horns. Remember the group that hung out around Dead End when they were still in the Demon Lands? The kid and his friend and their other friend got killed by the giant evil python cobra thing. They finally make it to the ocean. They taste the ocean water. They're having a good time. And someone says, "You guys met Dead End before? Tell me about it." And they're like, "We'll tell you about Dead End." Yeah. Um. Then we got Rudy. He's in his old body. He's in bed, and he hears people. There's no translation for this. I guess it's supposed to be like mumbles and rumblings, So we hear what hears. There's no translation for this, and he goes to speak, but then he just doesn't. He stops, and we go back to the land we are in right now, where Talahan is in a beer drinking contest with Kishi. Oh my God, Kishi Rika, and they're doing another. Roxy's already drunk. She's like, doing the clapping thing, and they get to the third one. This dude is spitting up beer while a very much pot belly. Because remember, she has the, I think she has like the body of like a preteen, even though she is this legitimate demon queen god. Like she is the demon god queen. Like holy hell. But she has this cute little pot belly. And she wins. They're chanting, Kishi Rika, Kishi Rika, Kishi Rika. And Roxy passes out, and we see Ella Louise in the back chatting up a guy. When she wakes up, I think Eloise is about to, have sex with this guy by the overturned table while Talahan's passed out. But Kishirika can't pay for drinks. And she's telling the guy, this big furry demon guy, well, call Karuga, he'll do it. I think Karuga is her actual, not bride to be, is her groom to be. I think that's her actual husband, probably that she met in the past life that she's betrothed to. Pardon me. So the guy says basically he's gonna sell her to make up for all the beer that she drank. And Roxy pays him, and I guess their currency is emeralds. Gives him 6 emeralds. She's all tied. Kishi Rika is tied up like a fish. And it's so funny. She does her whole entire speech while tied up. Same, it's the same great animation quality that the animators have fought over before when she talked to Rudeus, but all while she's tied up now. And she says she's going to reward her. And, she says, well, she's like, how can you reward me if you don't have any money? And she says, where am I at here? She says, well, I give you a demon eye, but she's like, well, I'd rather you find somebody for me. And she's like, oh, okay. Who you want me to find? And she starts naming the people she wants her to find. So now I even wrote in my notes. We figured out, why Rudy is afraid to take that first step because he went some heavy ass abuse in his past life. So we go back. We see Paul running to meet Aisha and Lilia. Lilia is in, she starts crying. Hello, my lord. But she's technically the second wife, and they're all hugging. And Norn's asking about Zenith because Zenith is still missing. And Lilia is saying, she figured Rudeus would have came back with her. And while she's about to cry, Paul is telling her, "Don't worry about it. Next time we see your brother, he's gonna be right there with your mom. All right." And it's if I granted, I will always say Aisha's best sister. But I do feel bad for the little girl, right? She's not being a little shit right now. She wants to know where mom is, and that's fine. This was a good reunion. So Kishirika tells her about that. She tells her that the others got the mails about the mother. She's looking for the mother using her eye, and she can't get a good look. But she is a desert, then there's underground, then there's some type of blue rock, and that's it. Now I lost my shit because Roxy quickly calls her Your Majesty. She believes who she is. She says she is. And I love the fact that the people, and I wrote this in here, the people in the main cast caught on really quick, or they catch on really quick. Like, Rudeus was just playing along, probably how Roxy was playing along, but when it became very apparent that this girl was not just some little girl, that she's actually the demon empress god, you treat her as such. Now, she knows the approximate location of Zenith. She's in the Barrett continent in the labyrinth city of Rapan. And I thought to myself, Rapan, kind of like Japan? Could that be a flash of things? Could this world actually be a flip of the real world? Hmm. Hmm. And Roxy asks, so you mean she's alive? And indeed she is. And she asks, what about Rudy? And she tells Roxy, Rudy is on the central continent, looking kind of glum. She's kind of laughing, asking, wonder if he ate some bad food. And Roxy thanks her and says she's sorry for her impertinence. And she's like, hey, don't even worry about it. This is actually a reward for you aiding me. And she does her patented laugh. And I love the fact that she laughs until she coughs. Like, Tumbleweed comes by as she's doing her amazing walk and laugh and cough. And she disappears. This is where I'm going to interrupt myself. Kishirika is one of the most interesting characters in this damn show, and we've only met her freaking twice. Holy hell, that is phenomenal to have. First of all, I told you guys we saw Zenova, we saw Geese, we saw the family, we saw the deep redheads, we saw Norn, we saw Paul. I love the fact that this is a tour of everyone who has ties to Rudeus. This is how you do a season finale episode. If you're not doing a freaking cliffhanger, or if you're not doing a wrap up of the entire show, if you're not doing a here's what's to come next, you do a greatest hits. You go, these are all the people that you met. These are all the people that you probably do like. Excuse me. These are all the people that probably sometime in the future are going to be very important. They're going to be important. I appreciate that. I just the thing with Kishirika was amazing. I love that we were able to get technically four, because all four characters in there. But we were able to get these characters that both have met Rudeus in one way or another in that demon continent while he was there at the same time as all of them, and was able to get them to meet. Because now Roxy has everything she needs to know, and that's a great way of that happening. Again, I didn't read the light novels. I would love to read the light novels. I know some of the, like I said, I know some of the major points, but I don't know how we get there. And I didn't know that we would get there in such a fantastic way with this because I enjoyed that. Having an omnipotent, a semi-ish omnipotent character just tell you straight up, here's where everybody is. This is what you need to know. I love the wandering. It's kind of like a Christian parable. The wandering God that you help this God out from the bottom of your heart, you get a reward. So Roxy obviously tells the others they're leaving that night. Elanese wonders, why Zenith hasn't contacted anybody if she's still alive. Talahan is still much very drunk, and Ella, I call her Ella, she asks if Roxy's worried about Paul's son, and she says she is worried to hear that he's depressed, but she knows Rudy well enough that he will be able to get back up on his own. Interesting. And then we have Rudeus and his old life playing the game on the, do you want to continue screen yes or no? And he's like, people don't change that easily, no matter how many chances they get to start over. Even I never wanted to end up like this, and I was surrounded by people who reached out to me, and I rejected them. I was stuck in my own paranoia, convinced they were all laughing at me. The best damn parts of this show are not the action, not even the animation, even though the animation is pretty damn good. They made a studio just to make this show. Um, Best part is the inward look at the characters and their motivations and what drives them in their emotional state. Love that he has this self reflection. He also said he thought that if he could do it if he tried, but he wanted to lose himself in the dream. A dream of him basically getting up and, moving forward. But, it's too late now. No one's there to reach out for him anymore, so what does it matter? Why should I bother? I'll live on in my dreams. I mean, people can't change, right? And he falls over. And Rudy right here now says, what does it matter? And we see that gurgling bubbles of him drowning. And then somehow he wakes up. And this is an interesting transition here. He wakes up, and it's his mother and his little baby sister Nor next to her, and it's raining outside, and uh, Zenith is watching Paul and Rudy train, and she accidentally pricks her finger, and it looks like Rudy won a bet with his dad. Basically, he got one hit on him. He didn't beat him, but I guess whoever won was supposed to pick their favorite dinner. Paul relents. They're both very muddy. He threw mud in his eye. He said, "Hey, you told me to win, no matter how, right?" And she's smiling. Lilia comes in with baby Aisha on her back and helping clean, give the boys towels. And Zenith is really sleepy. Rudy tells her, go and rest up. He'll clean up everything and he'll wake her up when she's done. And we get a nice little tender moment between mother and son. And here's Rudy. Rudy is telling his father, hey, Dad, you clean up the floors. He's like, all right, all right. He's with, baby and little baby Norn. And Rudy's just being a good son. And she calls him, and she calls Rudy, says Rudeus, Rudy, and without moving her lips, says I love you. And while we are in Zenith's body, we're looking at everybody, and it all has this shimmer. It's like a ruby bluish shimmer to all of them when she calls him and he turns around and she tells him that she loves him. Rudy hears, as he's in his bed, Rudy hears his mother say, I love you. And we see his other self. We're flashing between both real world, if you want to call it real world, this world, whatever world, two different worlds. And Rudy is symbolically leaving that Japanese house, and Rudy is leaving that tent. Same time they are. He's gotten dressed, he got his shit, he's ready to go, and he walks out. But then Rudeus walks past his old self that was tied against that gate. Such a great symbolic moment of getting past that trauma and learning to take that step forward. And Rudy says, I have to go. I have to find Zenith. And they walk out. And he's taking his little treasure too. If you know about the panty treasure, you know about the treasure. And Yeah, the ending started when he was getting right after she said I love you, and he's getting ready to take that step out. And this name of the episode pops up. We didn't get the Aya yet because another snowy era. Someone's talking about Rudy, a same class mage at the age of 5 with no incantations. One person says this is male. Sounds like a hater. Says if that was true, it's a big exaggeration. Why would we recruit him? And he says it's hard for me to laugh, not to laugh at this. You want us to believe this is a fiction. It's a character with pointy ears and this kind of whitish blondish hair, and they sound like a deep feminine voice, and they're saying, yes, what is your relationship to him? He's my savior, my mentor, and my friend. And his voice is saying, if I had to pick one thing, he's the person I respect the most. And we see, Rudy walking through snow, and then we get we get the ending with him, and I told you they said thank you, and we see the character has glasses. I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil that. I'm gonna spoil it for you. This hand means I'm spoiling it. That's Sylphie. Without a doubt, that's Sylphie. That's Sylphie for sure. So where's Sylphie at? Where I know where she's at, but where's Sylphie? What's going on? Who knows? But it's Sylphie. Um, all in all, this whole first season, this is the best anime of 2021, hands down. No more questions. Cross your T's and dot your I's. Best anime of 2021. Uh, I'm giving this whole entire series overall a 5 out of 5. There was not a one bad episode. There was not a single boring episode. Every episode mattered. Every episode built upon what happened to the characters last episode. On top of that, if we got an episode where it was featuring Roxy, but Rudy and the crew are someplace else, or it was featuring Paul and we're figuring out what's going on with him, it's still built up on it because it's saying, hey, quick little break. Here's what's going on with the characters because eventually these paths cross. Amazing storytelling. If the light novels are even half as good as if the source material is like this, count me in. I can't wait to try to find a way of reading that stuff. Fantastic. 5 out of 5. Please let me know what you think of Jobless Reincarnation in the comment section down below. What is your favorite moment? Who is your favorite character? I gotta say again, my favorite character. My favorite character is Eris. I'm a huge Rudy fan. I love Rudy to death because he's such a relatable character. But outside of Rudy, my guy, my next in line has to be Eris. Then little sister Aisha. I, yeah, the redheads are pretty dang cool in this show. But yeah, those are my favorites. My favorite moment, I like the moment when he fought the North Saint swordsman, where he just said, "I'm gonna get past my fright." This we got to see in this episode why he's always afraid of taking that first step and taking that initiative. Because when he did, he suffered for it. But now he's getting on, he's getting past it. Again, hit me up with a like. The likes really help out the channel. I already asked you for the comments, so please, favorite character, favorite moment, either or. Hit that subscribe button so you can get more videos like this. I don't know when it's going to come back, but when it does, I'm going to be there. Hit that notification bell if you're not new here to get notified of more videos like this. Share this video so others can see what a great time we're having. And please, 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 please. I was going to say tell you to take care of yourself, but before that, I want to let you know I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. And please have a Merry Christmas. Yeah, Happy New Year if I don't see you. As always, be good, be blessed. Wash your hands, wear a mask. I'm probably a little bit hyped up because I did get my booster a little bit earlier. So, above all, I just need you guys to be safe out there. All right? Be good to yourself, be good to others. Either way it goes, don't be a jerk. You are never alone. There's always somewhere there for you. Whether you know them, whether you don't know, whether it's a stranger, just reach out. I'm sure somebody's willing to grab your hand. And I will definitely see you all next time.